Right, hello and welcome to the Zonal Weakness brought to you by Ghana Football Fantasy, powered by Fantasy Football Scout, and we are back for Game Week 14. Of course, Game Week 13 is ongoing, so there is a lot of games still left to play, and of course, this game week is going to run till Monday. Um, but yeah, we are here to make sure that we are able to cover the Game Week 14 with the limited data that we have. So some of the data might not be fully updated, but I hope you understand this is still going to give us a little bit of a clarity. Not might not give us the entire picture or the full well-informed data to support the zonal weaknesses, but at least it provides a little bit of guidance in terms of where team stands and where the zonal weaknesses are. So yeah, we're going to look into that for Game Week 14. But before we do that, of course, as you know, this is of course the Game Week 14, and we are doing this again in the middle. So if you are really following us, following the zonal weakness, we are doing this recording on Sunday, and of course, we're releasing it on Sunday tonight. What we're going to do is there's going to be a lot of injuries, and of course, there's going to be a lot of more follow up. So that might not be visible in our zonal chart right now because we don't know what's going to happen. But however, while we are doing the thread, which will be coming up later on, we'll try and update as much as we can. Yeah. But do keep an eye on the press conferences. That's the suggestion, what we're trying to get into. Yeah, so that you have the updated information and you know exactly which zone looks weaker. And of course, if a particular player is missing in that, would be the replacement, that you can easily figure it out by just following the press conferences. So yeah, follow us and of course like and subscribe. And if you haven't done so, you're missing out on a lot of content and a regular content that we're producing here. And of course, due to the Black Friday, there's a 45% off on Fantasy Football Scout. And of course, we as Corner Football, as member of the Fantasy Football Scout Network, are happy to share this because this is a good opportunity for you. 9 game weeks coming up in 38 days. And of course, FF Scout is ready. So if you are not ready, then right now, this is the time to get the FF Scout. And of course, you can dominate FPL with evidence-backed data to ensure that you take the right decisions during this very busy period, and of course during the holiday seasons. Right. Okay. So here is the zonal weakness for Game Week 14, and we are going to look into the first six fixtures. Of course, first eight fixtures. And first up, it's West Ham versus Manchester United. West Ham being leaky, and of course, as you can see, there's a lot of sea green in there from Manchester United. Mount, Dalot, and of course, Mbeumo and Ahmad are the four outstanding players that kind of stand out really, with West Ham conceding 25 chances and 29 chances, respectively, in the right flank and left flank, where Mount and Dalot and, of course, Mbeumo and Ahmad is going to play. Mbeumo and Ahmad likely to capitalize, and, of course, Mount also might capitalize on this one. So do keep an eye on if you have Mbeumo, of course, this is a right game to play him. 𝐙𝐬𝐧𝐚𝐥 and Bruno Fernandes, of course, they also look sharp, to be honest, particularly from this fixture. West Ham considered 19 chances and are ranked seventh, slightly outside our parameter, but it is what it is. Bruno Fernandes still has a good opportunity. Casemiro looks to be in good form, and of course, when he's not in form, Manchester United tends to be struggling a little bit. Headed considered chances, this is where Casemiro could capitalize again this week with 30 chances considered, and of course, they're ranked worst, West Ham. For the crosses again, respectively, you can see that West Ham looks really leaky, ranked first and second, of course. So that's that. From the Burnley versus Crystal Palace matches, as you can see, Burnley looks really vulnerable down the left flank first, where Sarr and Munoz is going to occupy. So a lot of player managers, of course, have Sarr and Munoz, and this is where Burnley have actually considered 26 chances and are ranked second. So this is a good fixture to play against. And of course, Pino again could do well. And yeah, because Burnley have actually considered 21 chances and are ranked fourth. So are in a good place. But Mateta might struggle a little bit again in this fixture, given that they have only considered 18 chances and are ranked ninth. So yeah, I wouldn't really back so much, but again, not suggesting that you shouldn't play Mateta. But I think the chances for Sarr and Munoz looks ideal for this fixture. Everton versus Bournemouth is the next one, and I would rather focus on first is our most popular player asset, Semenyo, because Everton seems to be very leaky down the left flank, where they've conceded 23 chances and are ranked third. And this is where Semenyo is likely to occupy the space. But centre also looks a little bit vulnerable for Everton, given the fact that they have conceded 23 chances in the similar spell zone and but are ranked fifth. So this is where Evanilson will play. And of course, he's looking much better as an option moving forward. So yeah, this could be a good match for him as well. For Everton, of course, Bournemouth defensive doesn't really look that bad, but again, on the left flank, there seems to be a little bit weaker. This is where NDIA, who played very well, given against Manchester United, and of course in the previous fixture. Um, yeah, I think this is where NDIA could do well because Bournemouth have considered 20 chances and are ranked fifth. So I would really, if I had him, I would rather play him in this particular fixture as well. Sunderland versus Liverpool. Yeah, Liverpool being Liverpool right now. Gakpo is the one whom you could really look forward to, given the fact that Sunderland is in the right flank and are playing, seems to be weak, conceding 23 chances and are ranked third. Whereas down the center also, they seem to be a little bit weak as well. 24 chances conceded, ranked third. So Isaac could be an option. But yeah, I'm not sure about particularly about their form. That's something you are in a better position to decide. But at least the data suggests that this is where Sunderland looks a little bit vulnerable and Liverpool could capitalize in this particular area. Now, Wolves versus Nottingham Forest. Jesus and of course Gibbs White looks to be the one who could do well against Wolves in this particular match, as they are very weak and are worst in terms of chances conceded down the center, conceding 27 chances down the area. But again, on the right flank, it's slightly outside our parameters, so they're ranked sixth and conceding 19 chances. So Hudson Odoi and Anderson doesn't really stay far away. However, for Savona, who seems to be really catching an eye a little bit, um, yeah, this particular match might not be very interesting for him. Tottenham versus Newcastle, of course, this is where again Tottenham looks to be very much weak down the right flank, as we have seen in the previous fixture. And Barnes and Gordon, who's done well in this particular area, looks to be very in good form, to be honest. And I think this has really gone well for Newcastle, in particularly with both really showcasing their athleticism when given an opportunity to play. And I think the competition seems to be quite intense. I think that's the result that we get to see here, where Tottenham seems to be quite weak down that particular flank, conceding 21 chances and ranked fourth. So Barnes and Gordon, whoever plays in this particular matches, given that Europa is already just happened, and of course the media gimmick 13 just finished. Yeah, I'm not sure who's going to play, but that's rotation is not our area of expertise here, and we are really looking more into the zonal weakness. So whoever plays is likely to do well in this particular area. Murphy and Bruno G again expected to do well from the left flank side because Tottenham are done seems to be quite weak, conceding 18 chances and are ranked seventh. So yeah, that's another area. I wouldn't really focus so much on Walter Mode right now, at least for this particular fixture. For Fulham versus Manchester City, nothing really stands out. But if you carefully look at the left flank for Fulham, where they have considered 19 chances and are ranked sixth, but Turkey and or Savinho, one of them is likely to play. I think this could be an area where City could do well. But beside that, I think it's the crosses that is a little bit more tempting. So they might be also providing some sort of an assist, or could be in the score sheet, given the nature of football that Manchester City tends to play. So yeah, that's with the first slide. Moving on to the next slide, and just like I'm not Bethany, so I'm not really going to touch upon all the players. I'm really rather going to focus on the green one here, and it's Manchester United versus West Ham. So if you look at West Ham, Manchester United's vulnerability is a bit clear down the center with headed conceded, conceding 20 chances and are ranked third. So Charlie Wilson will be the one who would be probably among the score sheet again, given Manchester United's set piece and of course aerial ball issues. Crosses again, they look to be in a pretty bad shape again. Manchester United and conceding 70 chances down the right flank, and of course 70 chances down the left flank. But the left flank, of course, Manchester United is the worst in terms of crosses conceded, but are ranked fourth worst in terms of crosses considered from the right flank. So yeah, Bowen and Wan-Bissaka could do well in terms of getting a goal or maybe even exploiting the weakness to provide some sort of an assist. So do keep an eye on that. Aston Villa versus Brighton, and yeah, Welbeck could do well in this match. Aston Villa seems to be weak down the center, conceding 24 chances and are ranked third, but also down the crosses in the right flank. They have conceded 64 chances, sorry, crosses, and are ranked fifth. So that's where Gomez and Kadiglu could do well. So yeah, just keep an eye on that one. And then last one I would really focus on is Leeds versus Chelsea. And I know there's nothing marked here, but there's one player that's standing out. That's Neto. If you look at the left flank, Leeds have conceded 18 chances and are ranked 77th. So I think Neto, given the form that he finds himself currently, I think this is where Neto could really do well again. And Leeds hasn't been really doing well, but again, at home, they seem to be a different team, at least defensively solid, or much better performance at home in terms of defense. So yeah, Neto could do well, but again, not really. I wouldn't really focus. But if I had him in my team, I would really play in this match as well. The Nottingham Forest, and of course you have Wolves, and this is where you can see that Larson could do well, given Nottingham Forest seems to be very weak down the centre and are the worst team and have considered 27 chances down the center. So that's an area that Larson could capitalize, or even Tolu if he's playing. But then there is 23 chances they have considered again down the left flank where Arias play. And then I really don't know how to pronounce his name, but Chachua, I think, if we have to get it right, but apologies if I didn't pronounce that correctly. Yeah, so both of them could do well, whoever is playing again, given Nottingham Forest's weakness down the left flank as well. Moving on to the team of the week, and this is the last thing that we have. As you can see, it's Isaac and of course Evanilson who kind of makes it because of the vulnerability of their opponents down this center, and I think they're likely to do well. Brands, of course, as I've already discussed in details, Sar, Gibbs White, and Mbomo and Semenyo, and I think these players have all been discussed. If you have not watched it, just go back and you'll see that in the slide, in the first slide about touched upon all these players, so it's pretty important, and it's not really surprising to see these players in the team sheet or this team of the week. Michel, O'Reilly, and Munoz. I think they are again. Munoz and Michel are rightly there, but O'Reilly seems to be pretty attacking. Now there is a rotation risk, of course, but I think that I'll leave it to the managers to make that call. But yeah, if he plays, he could do well as well, and of course Donnarumma seems to be our main choice for the goalkeeper, even for this week for Game Week 14. So yeah, that's all for Game Week 14, and I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for all your support, and please do subscribe and like and follow. And we will see you, of course, back for Game Week 15. I'll be back again throughout the December. We'll be making the coverages. The Zonal will be there. So do keep supporting us, and I hope you have a wonderful Game Week. Until then, take care. Bye-bye.